Hello, typographers. Welcome to part 2 of the Assignment 2 Advertisements Critique. So on this one, we will start with Raylyn. Let's actually look at your poster first. I'm going to zoom out here. All right, so we have the trimmed version of your poster. It looks like we need the version that also has the trim lines or crop marks and bleeds. So if you could also submit that, that'd be great. All right, so this looks fantastic. I'm going to let you know what I saw first as far as information hierarchy. I saw Xander the Great first, which is wonderful. That's a great focal point. My eye jumps down to the image then, which is also another good focal point. It's the most contrasty item on the poster. Then it goes to Magician. Then it goes down to September 19th. Then maybe to Tickets or Witness the Unimaginable. It's kind of a teetering between those two. So, so I think that having your logo be the biggest is the best idea. And I am wondering if, I love this. Okay, I'm just reading everything on here. It looks really nice. Okay, so I'm wondering if having the image up here would be a little better, since then it would kind of be grouped with your logo. And as opposed to breaking those things up and having Magician, which is close to this size, be right underneath it. I think it'll break it up if you have a little better if you have your image almost right in the middle there. I was wondering if you could actually move it up so it's more kind of rule of thirds, but that's why I was reading this stuff up here. Which I think that Witness the Unimaginable watch as he turns air into magic could be further down if you needed it to. I think it would work in either place. It's successful. And I'm looking at this little tiny piece of text there. Yeah, okay. Great. These horizontal rules, I think, could be wider. I think they could be as wide as the text on all these here. And I do see more than 3 colors because your image has black and white in it. And I do see black in your poster. So be sure to change that because as per the requirements, there was no black, white, or gray allowed. So if you wanted to do that, you could convert this to black and white, and then you could give it this red color or the green color as like a tone, in Photoshop. And then we don't ever center text that's longer than 4 lines. Even if they did that back in the Victorian time, we don't want to do it now. I don't want that to be something that's in your portfolio. If employers are looking at your work, I want them to know that you know not to center anything longer than 4 lines of text. So you could maybe break this into 2 separate paragraphs or shorten it to 4 lines. I wouldn't go any smaller than this text because it just won't get read. The other option is left aligning, which I know we didn't see a lot of left aligning in those posters, so I think breaking it up into 2 might be the best bet there. All right. And everything looks good. I can see the date nice and big, the cost, the place. Yeah, great. You also have these great flourishes. I mean, you could introduce some more in some places, and I remember seeing them in your different logo options. You have some other flourishes too, as long as they're not distorted. And remember what I said about, maybe framing these images. So any changes that you make to your logo, make sure you update them on your final poster, final poster designs for the final presentation. Okay. Excellent. So here is this part. Excuse me. All right, let's look at great. This is a great mock-up. And here's your mailer, and this looks really fantastic. I just used this as an example for a student in the first part of the presentation because you did everything correctly. It looks really nice. So like I mentioned, if you change your logo, be sure you change it here. And no centering text longer than 4 lines. So this one, if you wanted to just left align this, that would be okay because it's not quite a poster anymore. You know what I mean? But the text looks good as far as hierarchy goes, and I can see all the important information nice and big. So that's great. This looks fantastic. I love that you have an incentive there. Great. Really nice. And the frame looks good. It's cool. Awesome. Perfect. And then here is our postcard, and this is like an informational postcard, so that looks really nice. This all looks really good too. So great work there. Excellent. Just the only thing is like, get rid of the black in these as well. You don't get rid of the black in your barcode, but yeah, we just don't need black. Okay, cool. So here is a mock-up for your leaderboard, and that looks really good. Okay, and here are, oh, hold on, what's happening? Oh, I think you're just zoomed in for us. Okay, sorry. Great. Okay, so yes, let me zoom out just a bit to show you. This is about what the size the leaderboard will be on somebody's computer, so that looks perfect. I can read everything and all the info is there. Looks really good. Here is the square ad. I'm going to zoom out. I think it's the 250 by 250. So that's about the size it'll be. Yeah. So you can see that we do lose some text here. We can't, some legibility. So that white row of text underneath the Arcane Theater and that tiny black row of text, if that is text. And then this black row of text where it says, watch as he turns air into magic. I think there's room to bump that font size up a bit. I can barely read it. It has to do with it also being black on a red background on a screen. It's kind of messing with my eyes a little bit. And then tickets can also be a little bigger too for that same reason. All right, the white on the red is very easy to read though. Okay, let me zoom on in. Great, good job on this mock-up, perfect. And so this is your Instagram ad. This is about the size it'll be. So I do lose the legibility here. These white boxes here become illegible. So I'm sorry, not boxes. These white rows of text, this row of text. Well, I think it says, yeah, this one says Columbus, Ohio. So I can barely read that one. I cannot read that one there at this size. Okay. But you have room. This is a really large ad, so you have room to make things bigger. If you need to get rid of the frame, then, you can get rid of it. The frame is really nice, though. I think what you might not need is this whole thing here. The witness the unimaginable, watch as he turns air into magic. I think I'd rather see a picture of him than that, him and the rabbit. That's up to you. Oh, and that's it. So I do need to see I wanted to see the banner. I'm sorry, this is the leaderboard by itself on a page, as well as the this mobile banner as well. So a mobile banner is going to be about this big, and so you can see the text is pretty hard to read here, these two rows of text. The button is nice. The button does not need to be as wide as it is. It can really shrink down to just be the size of the text, the width of the text, So that will give you a little more room to make some things bigger. Okay, great. All right. Thank you so much. Okay, next up is Caitlin. Here's Caitlin's poster. And I'm just going to look at the next one. Okay, so this one, you did add a margin around the edge, but I don't see any crop lines or the bleed area. I appreciate you trying. So here's the trimmed version. Okay, so I'm just seeing if we have 3 colors. Okay, we have 3 colors. And if I don't count the background as a color, I'm not crazy about this kind of watermarked, almost like kind of messed up poster. I mean, it's cool, but I want it to look new and crispy. You know what I mean? Um, so I don't know if you have the option of having a background that isn't have a like stuff bleeding on it. Um, but okay, so let's talk about your information hierarchy. So when I first open this, my eye goes to Avonlea and Cascade, and then I think it jumps up to the logo and then goes down here to this area and then down to the bottom. So I'm not sure. I think that's the order that you want it in. I'm just reading everything. Okay, great. Yeah. I think that's the order that you wanted in, so I think it was successful. Um, I don't know if first time in history has to be so big and prominent. Um, I'd rather see that as like one line and then the tight ropes over piranhas being the next part, and then the date and price at the bottom. So I don't see a price right now. And I think that I would like to see this logo as wide as possible, taking up as much space. So dropping that first time in history, making just one line of that, or for the first time in history, there should not be a rule between this if we're reading it together. You know what I mean? So, yeah, get rid of that second horizontal rule, make first time in history on one line, and then it will read more as for the first time in history. And that will give you space then to make your logo as big and wide as possible. Might have to drop down some of this, everything else, would nudge down a little bit. And then tight ropes over piranhas is just such a fun part of the poster that it should be a little higher up. And then you can put, it will read better as for the first time in history, tight ropes over piranhas. Then, because right now it's getting broken up by September 13th. It's like for the first time in history, it's September 13th, which isn't the case, right? Okay, and then we do need your price in there. So September 13th could be smaller, and then you could just have like $1 or whatever you want the price to be next to it, okay? Great. And then if you update your logo at all based on the feedback you got from the first critique, go ahead and update it here as well. Great. All right. So here is the first side of your brochure. Good. So we just kind of kept it as is and just, scaled it so the height would fit. It also looks like you made your logo even smaller. So I'd say whatever changes you make to the poster, make them here too, if you rearrange things and stuff. Great. Good job. Okay, perfect. So technically, the bottom panel is right side up and this panel is upside down. You want yes, that's right, because you want the center panel to be upside down, and so the panel that's above it will also be upside down. And then this one will be right side up. So we just got to rotate this one and this one 180 degrees, but leave the center as is. That's really good. Everything else looks good. It looks like you might want to also rotate your stamp because right now that's right side up. That looks good. I love the big piranhas. I love the free entry incentive. Really good. The only thing I'm not loving is this font right here is a little bit boring. Like you have all these fun fonts and then it's just like normal, boring kind of serif. So I'd say just keep playing with these other fonts. As long as they're legible, I think it could be the same font as this, just maybe in red. All right. Okay, next is your postcard. Oh, hold on. Yes, that's right. Okay. The postcard looks great. Really good. So whichever order you switch things around, switch that on your postcard, and this looks fantastic. Wonderful work there. Good work with the address on the here too. Good job there. So this is your Instagram ad. I'm just going to zoom out a bit to show you about the size that it would look. I'd say about there. This is a little bigger than it would look on your phone. So the ropes are fun. You have room for piranhas. You have room for a giant logo. And then this text notice down here gets really tiny. So just bump that up. And you have room to go all the way across here, right? Visit our website to learn more, www. And you never need a www anymore. So you can get rid of that in your websites everywhere. Okay? In your URLs everywhere, I should say. Here we have our skyscraper. So the skyscraper will be about this size. So that looks good. I can read everything. This looks really fantastic. Excellent. Just change the order if you change them. This is the 250 by 250 ad, and that looks good. I do lose your logo. So I would say, for something like this, maybe instead of stacking it, you could have things next to each other, like Avonlea, Louise Cascade, tight ropes over piranhas, September 13th, and then drop it all down and make your logo larger. And maybe you could put the piranhas on. No, that would be crazy. Don't do that. All right. Then here we have our header banner. That's going to be a little bit bigger. Okay, so this one right here is the web banner. I don't think the dimensions are correct on this. It looks a little tall for a web banner. So just double check that. And well, there's a chance that we're going to lose the word Lewis, the legibility there. I don't know if that has a bolder font that you could just use for that one. That might help with the legibility. And then this is our, hold on, let me just look. Did you already do the, okay, you didn't. So this one must be the leaderboard, and the leaderboard is pretty large, you can see right here. So I don't need a date this gigantic. I would like more info instead, maybe even a piranha or something, you know what I mean? So this is definitely legible as is, so there's room for this all to get a little smaller, okay? Good looking mock-up for your postcard and a little Instagram mock-up. So we need a poster mock-up, a mock-up for both sides of your brochure. We need a mock-up that's like a computer screen, like a blog site that has the leaderboard, the 250 by 250 tile, and this skyscraper. And then we need a mock-up of a cell phone that has the web banner. That's this little guy after you double check those dimensions on that web banner. And then you're good to go. All right, thank you. All right, next up is Albert. And this is Albert's poster. So Albert, I needed a poster that also had the bleeds, the crop marks, and the background color going all the way to the bleeds. This is just the trimmed version. So this poster is 3 colors, so that's good. It doesn't feel super Victorian to me. I think it's still the fonts that are throwing me off, but yeah, I think there's more that you could do to really bring out the Victorian stuff about it. You know what I mean? Like they didn't really use a ton of gradients and stuff. They were doing more kind of painterly things as far as gradients go. This feels really digital and kind of vector gradient-ish. And I think you could do like some horizontal rules or some other ornamentation. So as far as information hierarchy, my eye goes straight to the lion first and Joe Keaton. So that's good. That's a good focal point. Then it goes up to Artemis, and then I go down to the bottom to this area, like 499 and Jazz Forum. So if that's the order that you wanted the information hierarchy to be, then that was successful. But I don't see, okay, so Jazzland Forum is the location. Okay, gotcha, sorry. And then we got the date. So make sure that this dash is an end dash and not just a regular hyphen. We use an end dash whenever we're separating like values or dates. It's a little, I think that the adding some horizontal rules and like doing some more kind of, um, I don't know, just some visual, like some little ornamentation stuff would really help bring it to, help push it to more Victorian styles. Like I like how this stuff is very close to the edge all down here, but up here it's not quite doing the same thing. So it's feeling very like empty up here. Here it's like not feeling as empty, but we've got these huge line spaces. I don't know. I think it could be, if you don't want it to be busy, then I totally understand that and I respect it. I would like you then to go toward the more those the kind of posters that had like the drawing in the middle, those ones were more open and airy and like intentionally open. This one sort of feels like a mix between the word heavy posters and as opposed to the image heavy poster. And like the starburst in the background is just not Victorianish to me at all. Okay. So let's check out these ads. All right, so this one is the leaderboard banner, and this is about the size that it will show up as on your computer. So it's looking good. I don't think the date needs to be quite so big. I think I'd rather you had the logo. Well, I guess the logo can't get much bigger than that. Yeah, like the New Orleans is getting a little bit lost, but I know that, that's part of the logo, so you can't really change that too much. But maybe you could reduce the size here of the date and include the amount of money. Then we have the a skyscraper. So a skyscraper is going to show up about this size. All right, this looks good. This is a good layout. The price does not need to be quite so huge. Like it definitely doesn't need to be bigger than Artemis, But yeah, everything else is good there. And then this is our tile. So that's going to be about this big. That looks good. We can read everything and it lets us know what it is. Good. Okay. And then this is the mobile banner. So that's going to be about this size. So we lose Traveling Circus a bit. And then we definitely lose New Orleans. And the date is still legible. The lion is even getting a tad bit lost there, okay? So, I'm wondering if there's room to make Traveling Circus even bigger. I know it's like maybe take it out of the logo and make it bigger or something. I don't know. There's not much room to do a lot on that banner. It's really tiny. Okay, here's your Instagram banner. This is about the size. Will you see it on a phone? So that looks good. We can see everything. And I don't think the price needs to be larger than these numbers. You can have them about the same there. I think that's fine. Great. This is your one side of your brochure, your mailer. Okay, so any changes that you make on the poster, make sure you change it here and also on the banners. And this is, hold on. Okay, I got a little lost. Let's see. Okay, so these two are your postcard. So I'd like to see, more of your poster on here, on this side, not just a logo. And then this side looks great, so that's fine. You can leave that as is. And then looks like we're missing the other two panels of the mailer. So please revisit that that module and see how to lay out the mailer. There's a whole video about it, okay? And this is not set up quite right. So you'll see how to measure all that. Yeah, okay. And so we need mock-ups of the postcard, mock-ups of the mailer. We need mock-ups of all these banners. So the Instagram banner and this little tiny web mobile banner. Those will be on a mock-up with cell phones. And then these other ads, like this tile, the skyscraper, and this big leaderboard banner will be on a mock-up of like a monitor, like a laptop monitor, something that's like a blog page, and you'll see these ads all over it, okay? And you need a mock-up of your poster. Thank you. Next up is Kayla. Let's look at Kayla's poster first. Great, so we have this one is the trimmed version. Excellent, this one is the version with the crop marks and showing the bleeds extending beyond the crop marks. Great work. Okay, so let's look at the first version. Awesome, it looks so good. Really good, lots of fun. Okay, so as far as information hierarchy goes, I think my eyes first go to these guys here. I'm trying to remember if it went to the logo first or to them. I feel like it went to her first. And then Pirate Show, because it's next to those. And then down to Sword Duel. Then up to Cutlass Theater. So if that's the order that you wanted it, then that's how it went. So, I mean, there is room to make your logo a little bit wider, just a little bit wider. You know, not wider, but it would make the whole thing bigger, right? If you made it wider. And then I love all of this. This is fantastic. I'm just reading everything, sorry. Yeah, this looks good. Okay, cool. So the things that I'm not crazy about is how we're kind of going in and out and in and out and in and out. You know what I mean? On those posters, on the Victorians posters, they really stretch everything to the margins. So you can do that with all of your font that you have here. Just crank that tracking up, you know, like spread it out really wide. Same with this line here and this line here. I think it'll really make it look even more kind of, you know, chunky. And Dare to Witness, maybe all caps and, you know, stretch it all out, you know, the fight of the lifetime. There's a lot of fun fonts in here. I think down here the Greatest Show and On the Seven Seas doesn't necessarily need to stretch out, but I'd like to see the top a little blockier, you know, and extend these horizontal rules to you know, be the same width, or maybe make them decorative in some way. And then, or you could like this little plus that's in this font, you could like put it on the ends of each of them or something, you know what I mean? Something really fun like that. I'm just looking at a few more things. So swashbuckling, I don't know if this font isn't gonna behave well if you adjust the tracking because of this ligature. So instead, I would just make it just a larger font size until it was the same width as the, you know, Sword Duel. So just pick where you want your margin to end. I think Sword Duel is really pushing into the margins a little more than it should. I wouldn't go any wider than you have up here. I think this is the skinniest this margin should be. Okay, and then, yeah, these are fun. Great. I'm just looking at anything else. I think that you could figure out a way also to maybe don't miss out, VIP front rows option available could be on one line to stretch it out. And you could say tickets starting at $20, children under 2 are free, you know, that kind of thing, like add a little more to that line of text to stretch it, okay? All right, I love the color palette. It's fantastic. I love seeing just 3 colors. It worked out perfectly. It's really cool. Really cool. All right, love it. So let's look at your presentation here. Okay, so here's the poster. Here's the mailer. Fantastic. Really good. So the mailer, if you do stretch out your words, like I was saying, it's up to you if you want to swap it onto the mailer. The mailer, I don't think it needs to be quite so poster-y, if that makes any sense. Um, but I think when you do it, you're going to like the way it looks and you might want to stretch it out anyways. But um, yeah, okay. And then I just love that logo and I want it to be as big as it can possibly be as well. And then these are perfect here. This looks fantastic right here. I love this incentive. Look at these. Come on. Come on. These are so cool. Put those in your poster. I love it. That's exactly what I was hoping to see. That looks good. All right. Maybe you didn't put it in because you didn't want it to compete with the logo, but I mean, those posters are over the top. I think it's okay to go a little nuts in there, you know? And here is your postcard. Looks really good. Excellent. So yeah, if you want to change anything on here from your poster, you're welcome to. This looks perfect. Really nice work. And the mock-up, great. Easy enough. All right, and then we have all your ads. So this is your Instagram ad. I'm just going to zoom out to see what it would look like at about the scale we would look at it as. That looks good. Everything's still nice and legible. This square ad is about the size that it would be on a computer screen. And so you can see that we do lose a little bit legibility down here in these two lines of text. So I think you could get rid of this bottom row of text just for this ad and make the tickets starting at 20 larger because that's more important, okay? Everything else is pretty legible. This mobile banner is also about the size it would be on our cell phone. And you can see it's very hard to see. So this stuff is all legible. We lose our logo legibility completely. And I can read the Cutlass Theater, but I can barely read Saturday, November 16th. And I can't really read, I can read England. I have very good vision, just so you know. So the second row of text and this fourth row of text, those are pretty hard to read. So just edit down what absolutely needs to be on that leaderboard and, you know, get rid of some stuff so you can make the important things bigger, okay? So now, I'm sorry, this mobile leaderboard is what I'm talking about. So let me zoom in. This is the skyscraper, and this is about the size it would be on a computer monitor. So it's pushing it. Everything is readable, but I've got to really work for this line, these two rows of text here. No, just sorry. One, the as night falls. Yeah, and show starts at 8. That's pretty squinty. These are okay here, but this stuff on the bottom is also a bit squinty. So I'm not sure if there's some stuff you can take out. Maybe you can take out for only one night and Saturday and just make November 16th larger. And we definitely don't need as night falls, the fight begins. And we also don't need show starts at, but you can have 8 o'clock larger. And then we don't need the don't miss out and VIP stuff at the bottom. So that would just be easy to just get rid of. The leaderboard is pretty big. So let me zoom in. Oopsie. Oh, let's look at it here. This is about the size it would be. So that's really good. And everything's legible. And those figures look awesome. Very cool. I love that one. Awesome. So good looking mock-up here. Good looking mock-up here. It's a bit big, but I'm okay with it. Great. That's fantastic to see. That's a little big too, I think, but maybe not. Never mind. Yeah, and this is the little mock-up here. So this is on my computer screen. It's bigger than to scale, you know. So it's easy to read here, but that's just not real life. And then this is a very good scale for this mock-up. So fantastic work. So it looks like you need a mock-up. Oh, no, you got that. Oh, yeah, I got it. Mock-up for your poster is the only thing missing, all right? Thank you so much, Kayla. All right, next up is Yardley. Here's Yardley's poster. Ooh, it looks really cool on this dark background. Let me see. Okay, and then we got, whoa, okay. Okay, so there's not really I see this like red line around here. And it says crop, but that's not how you export that's not how you export a document for printing. You wouldn't have words on it like that because they would show up when it was printed out, you know. Um, so good try though. And then this one is, let's see. Okay. I'm trying to figure out, this has like a black background, and I don't know if that's part of the poster or not. I don't think it's supposed to be. I think the poster's just supposed to be this blue part, according to this. Okay, so I just want to make sure there's no black in this poster, and it's just the three colors, which it looks like it is. I mean, you're creating a lot of like contrast with the yellow on the dark blue and that red. There's like even a bit of like vibrating color going on, just a tiny bit up here in your logo, just a bit, not too bad, not too much, you know. So let's see. So my as far as information hierarchy goes, my eye first goes to the logo at the top, which is good. That's a good focal point. Then it goes down to Pele's Garnier, and then I think it just kind of goes down the list from there, like Midnight on Halloween, Madame Moreau's Arcane Tarot, and Hypnotist Masquerade. So I think that this framing is very cool. It's like even a little kind of Baroque, you know. And then we have this banner up here kind of behind it. That's pretty cool. And then I think that we could incorporate yellow more into the text. You are using it just like a little bit to break these up, which is neat. But like if Sinister Seance had a yellow fill with the red drop shadow, that would look super cool. And let me just read this for a second here. Okay, so I think that 10 cents to witness the greatness needs to be larger than some of this other information. And I feel like maybe Pele's Garnier should also be yellow because it says performing one night only at the, and yeah, go ahead and like make these three lines yellow. I think that's totally fine. I don't think the needs to be yellow because the as yellow is creating a lot of contrast and making it look like it's important, and it's just not, right? So I would, if you wanted, I would say the Arcane Tarot as yellow, like make the whole thing yellow there, and then I don't think Discover Your True Self would stay yellow if you were to do that. But maybe. I don't know. I kind of feel like that goes with the next group of text there. And then this one down here would be cool if it was like a red fill with the yellow drop shadow. You could try that and see, you know, it would look like your logo up there, you know. All right. But it's all legible and looks pretty cool. All right, so let's look at the other stuff. Okay, so here's your Instagram ad. So I want the Instagram ad to look as much like the poster as possible. So they didn't do really a lot of text laid over photography like this back then. So I don't recommend doing it for these projects. And I would just keep it with your dark blue background. Like it's a neat image for sure, but it's a carousel, and like that doesn't, I don't know if that has to do with your location, but your location is about tarot card reading, right? Yeah. Okay. And then just making your logo like as large as possible. It seems like there's some more room to go wider, and making that your big main focal point, and then making these a little smaller, okay? But let's look at it. I'm going to zoom out. So this is about the size it would be on my phone, so everything still stays legible. It doesn't get too small, so that's good. All right, now this one we have the skyscraper. I'll look at that first. Skyscraper will be about this big, maybe this big. Okay, so it's a little hard to read this text up here, especially the price. That's the part that gets lost. So definitely make that larger. And same thing, we have like this background image of a circus, but they didn't really do a lot of background, stuff with photos in the background back then. So I would make it look more like your poster. This one is looking better. And then, because it's got that blue background, there's room to make your logo larger. We have a bunch of room down here. So anyway, I'm sorry, let me stick with this skyscraper. So we also have the 10 cents to enter again down here, so get rid of that. And when you have the dark blue background and you have your yellow and red logo back, that'll really help with this visibility, but this needs to be up near the top, not at the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to zoom back a bit. This is about the size that the square will be on the monitor. And so you can see we completely lose this row of text, that little skinny row there. We can read these two larger rows, but we can't read the one in between or below it. So make sure that that info is larger. And then the mobile leaderboard, this is actually about the right size that it would be on our cell phones. We lose your logo altogether. But I can read this whole side, and I can just read these two rows of text. I can't read those three other rows. So make sure that that gets changed. And so make sure it also looks exactly like the other ones. We're trying to create brand recognition, right? So people need to see the same imagery over and over and over again, and they need to see the logo the same way over and over and over again before it finally clicks into their head. So if we're changing it constantly, and some places it's only white, some places it's these other colors, it's going to just take longer for people to recognize your brand, And so when employers are looking at your portfolio, they want to see that you know how to consistently represent a company over and over again, no matter how boring it might feel in school. It's super important to corporations. All right, so the large leaderboard, I'm going to zoom in a bit. It's going to be really big. It's going to be like that. Oops, sorry. So everything on here is legible. It's a bit hard to read this bottom line, and that's the cost. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not. Yes, it is. So you have that again, but it's already up here nice and big. So you can just delete that and maybe even increase this whole thing over here a little bit. We have some room to scooch over to the sides because banners don't need too much of a margin. This margin size is pretty good. Print things do need a larger margin, but these guys don't. So like that's okay, but then you can make your logo bigger. All right, great. This is our mock-up for the Instagram ad. Great. So if you change the ad, make sure you change your mock-ups. This is your postcard. Okay. Looks good. All right. Yeah. And the mock-up. Great. Great. Here is your mailer. Very good. Good job. Good job with these two panels being upside down. All right, so and you have your website here. So I do like to encourage people to make this one panel like an incentive, like free admittance if you bring this with you, or you can get a free popcorn or some sort of a discount, that kind of thing. You don't have to do it though, but it's fun if you want to. But the poster looks good on here, so that's good. And here's your mock-ups. Great. Good. And we have a little card. Okay, you can get rid of this mock-up. It's not really doing much doesn't fit the other ones. So, okay. So I need a mock-up of the poster. Do I have that? I don't think so. So we need a mock-up of the poster. We need a mock-up of the web banners as well. And we need a mock-up of another cell phone with the mobile leaderboard on that as well. Okay. All right. Thank you. Great. Next up is Ingrid. All right. Okay, so Ingrid, we don't have this part down quite yet. So this is the poster trimmed, and then this one, so you need, yeah, okay, so we wouldn't submit it like with all this stuff on it. It would just be just the PDF of the whole poster trimmed, not with any extra text or on any extra background. And then the second one would be with just some little crop marks and the background past the crop mark bleed, so to show the bleeds, okay? So when you export it from Photoshop or InDesign as a PDF, there's an area there to include the PDF, the bleeds and crop marks. I think I'm going to make a video about it because you're not the only one that didn't know how to do that, so don't worry about it. All right, so here is your poster. So as far as information hierarchy goes, my eye goes right here to start, and then the image. So that's pretty fun. Then it goes to featured guests, then San Diego Convention Center, and then October 31st. And then down here to read these. So we have like a, I'd say like a image heavy poster. And this is pretty fun. I think that we could move the composition is a little, it's like the canvas is split in half this way, and it's just feeling a little, I don't know. I think if you went rule of thirds, it would be better. So my recommendation would be to kind of list these in two columns and not centered. Well, I don't know. I guess you could center them. So Mia, Alex, and Florence here, Stephen, Michelle, and more here. And then you could move featured guests lower, and the San Diego Convention Center would kind of fall where featured guest currently lives, right? And then we could pull this image and logo down a bit. And if it didn't quite fit anymore, you could even zoom in and make this larger and like crop it here, crop off this hill over here. You know what I mean? So your guy would be a little bit bigger if you needed to do that, you know, because of the empty space that would be above him. But I don't think it's going to be an issue. And then the other thing that's a little strange is like the edge of this. So you have this beautiful frame here. Like, could you do something to kind of complement that here and here? You know what I mean? You've got all these little flourishes and stuff. I think you could do something kind of cool to just make it feel a little more intentional instead of it just being this like harsh crop, you know? And then you have room to move October 31st down a little bit as well. All right. But it looks nice. It's a really nice idea, and I like how it's all working together here. I think it's pretty neat. And I love your flourishes. I love these fonts a lot. And I think the information hierarchy is pretty good. I don't know if featured guest needs to be bigger than the word convention, but the F and the G are so cool that, no, I think it's cool. It's fine. We're good. Okay. And it's two colors, so that's really great too. Okay, let's look at the mailer. All right, so I'd like you to go back and revisit the instructions for the mailer and watch the video again, because this side is fine, but this side is incorrect. And whatever you change on the poster with the framing and stuff, just make sure you change it here too. And then we have the postcard. We need room on this postcard. The address needs to be over here. So you could scooch this over to this side, but we've got to put the mailing address for the poster on this side. I'm sorry, postcard. And then this is all right. I think it'd be better if you rotated at 180 degrees and kept it more like this, that kind of layout. This two column thing is not that great. Okay, next up is our leaderboard banner. I'm going to zoom in to show you. I don't think these dimensions are correct. I think that is the, okay, hold on. Okay, maybe it's correct. Okay, let's just, yeah, I guess it is. I'm sorry. So, all right, so this banner, we have a lot of room on this banner width-wise. So 50 cents a ticket could be much larger. It's even kind of tiny here. So, go ahead and do that. It could be like October 31st, 50 cents a ticket, like pretty big. It doesn't even, you could stack I'm sorry, $50, $50 and then a ticket underneath. Um, and I think there's room to make this even a little bigger. And there's also room to make these bigger, these guys here. So you've got room. You've got room to play. This is incorrect. This skyscraper, this is actually tall. So it's going to be 60 pixels tall and 160 pixels wide. So that's going to need some new layout there. The 250 square is going to be about this size on a computer screen. So everything stays pretty legible. I think you might want to make your people's names a little bigger just to be safe. And then if you change your framing on your image, make sure you change that there. We do lose $50 a ticket, so luckily you've got space to make it larger here. This is actually what a mobile banner will look like on your cell phone. That's about the right size, maybe a little bigger, somewhere between these two. So even at the larger size, notice I lose all this info, and $50 a ticket is, again, kind of hard to read. So I think it'd be okay for this particular banner to lose these extra names. Just focus on what's important. You could even lose $50 a ticket on this one, and then maybe stack San Diego Convention Center, make that 3 rows so you can make it a little bigger. Then this is the Instagram ad, and that's going to be big. This is actually about the size it would be on a phone, so that looks good. Everything's legible except $50 a ticket. It's kind of tiny, so make it bigger. Great. And then I don't see any mock-ups. So we need a mock-up of the poster. We need a mock-up of the corrected mailer, which is like a brochure, like a 2-sided brochure mock-up. We need a mock-up of the postcard. We need a phone mock-up of the Instagram ad. We need a cell phone mock-up with the mobile leaderboard banner. Then we need a desktop monitor or laptop monitor mock-up that has the regular leaderboard banner. We need another one, another laptop monitor or whatever that has the skyscraper correctly, the correct, format of that, and one of the 250 by 250 tile. Okay, thank you. All right, next up is Zena. Yes, thank you. This is Zena's poster with the crop marks, all the registration marks exported perfectly, and it has your background creamy color going past the crops, I think. Let's look. Yes, it does. Woohoo! Great job, Zena. We've got this gorgeous poster. And then here's the trimmed version. So we'll look at this one. Wow, this is cool. So my eye first goes to her. She's fantastic. Then I think it goes to her name below. And then maybe even then to this $10 or June 16th. It's kind of one or the other. I'm not sure which one I went to. Then it goes up here to this section with the Theater du Gymnase. Sorry about my pronunciation. So I love all this framing. It's so ornate and beautiful. I love these like triple border with all the flowers and stuff. All these little filigrees and so pretty. I love that it's 3 colors, and you were very selective of what you made dark colors, and that just looks so good. Really cool, really nice. This is so striking, this white on green, really lovely. And up here, the green with the drop shadow is so beautiful in your logo, and yeah, it's just really neat. It's really, really good. It's so good. So I'm just looking at just a few more things. I'm just reading through here. All right. So, yep, no, I'm fine with it. Fine with it all. Excellent. Okay. let's go on to the other stuff. All right, so we've got your mock-up of your poster. I'm not sure about this mock-up. It is neat, but I don't feel like it's the right application for it. It seems like it's up on a building, and it's just not quite the right dimensions, you know? It's not really the true dimensions of the poster. Eh, whatever. If you want to keep it, you can. All right, here's your mailer, and it's fantastic. Really good. Really nice job with like cropping it down and editing out what didn't need to be on the mailer, and then just putting that information, you know, over here. The panels are upside down and they're correct. That's really good. This layout looks perfect. This is really fantastic. I love it. Really great. This is really fun too. Changing the background color of that third panel is really nice. Awesome. Nice work. This is so pretty. I love it. Great work. Really cool. And here's your mailer mock-up. It looks so good. That's a nice mock-up. Really nice. And here's your postcard. So cute. Very cute. It's really good. Really good. I like that you introduced like the circle back in here, and yeah, it's really fun. This is really nice over here. Looks good. Good stuff. Really cute here. Oh, so cute. All right. Great. So this mock-up is another kind of weird one. With postcards, we don't need an envelope, right? So I don't know if you want to change that out or not. It's up to you. Okay, so here's our different ads. We've got our mobile leaderboard. We'll look at that first. I'm just going to zoom back a bit. So with this one, this is about the size that it'll be on our cell phone. That's actually, yeah, that's about the size. So I'm just seeing if things are still legible. It is a little hard to read the theater. It might be about this size. Yeah. I don't know. That theater is a bit hard to read, I do have to say. It's just right here where it gets real cluttered, you know what I mean? I think, what if you were to drop just for this one, and maybe this one? No, that one's going to be larger. I think it's just this one that's the troublemaker. If you dropped the do down here and just made the word theater a little larger above the two, if that would help that. But everything else is still legible, and that's okay. Never mind, just leave it. It's fine. It's fine. And then the leaderboard banner is going to be even bigger, so I'll zoom in to show you that size. This will be really big like this, so that everything's totally legible and looks really good there. Great. And then we'll look at Instagram ad. That's going to be about this size. It's good. This stuff is getting a little hard down here, but not too hard, and it's fine. Totally legible, so that's all really good. Frame looks fantastic. Really nice. The skyscraper is going to be pretty big. Oops, sorry. Hey, stop. Get back there. Hold on. Okay, just got to be gentle. There we go. So it's going to be about this big, and everything stays legible, so that's really good. And then the tile will be a little smaller like this, and I can still read everything, so great job. Okay, next page shows me some mock-ups. So here's our Instagram mock-up. Here's the skyscraper. So this mobile leaderboard, it's called mobile because it goes on a cell phone. So you'll want to get another cell phone mock-up that has the leaderboard, the mobile leaderboard specifically, in some sort of like in the middle of an article kind of thing. Then this is correct. This is banner nice and big here, and this tile on the side is perfect. Yes, good work there. Yep, really nice. So this is the only guy that's just acting up there. All right. So do I need you got a poster, yeah, you have everything. Great work, Zena. All right. Thank you so much, everybody.